Hey, 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 you know what time it is.
It's time for the Heart to Heart Journey to Unconditional Love podcast.
That's right. And I am your host, Delay Bloomer. That is my co host, Harlan Brown. And Harlan Brown, what's going on? What's going on? What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What we doing?
Oh, yeah, we having a podcast. That's what we doing. You know how we do, you know how we get down. You know what I'm saying? I'm still tripping on your headband from last time. Where your headband this time?
No headband, just a new fitted today.
Just
Trying to
good.
switch it up.
Okay, yeah, let's switch it up. Just so the audience know, y'all can get any shirts and any headbands you want. Just
Yeah,
seek out, let us
absolutely.
know. The proceeds go to Scholarship Foundation. We've given out over $20,000 this year, and man, it's just been great for giving back to the kids, giving back to the community, so that kids can go to college. So, yeah, I put my shameless plug in there, and it's the MEW Scholarship Fund. So, yeah, just
Oh,
support.
good.
We thank you for your support. So, without further ado, yeah, here's what we're going to talk about. We're going right into it. So, this is a hot topic for all women, and I'm gonna just put it out there. Why do men
Okay.
cheat? You know, they just everybody wants to know. Every woman wants to know. Although, if you know, and I'm in the minority. I say more women cheat than men, but we get the bad rap, so
Mhm.
it's okay. Yeah, I said that, but we're not talking about that. That's a podcast for another time. We gonna go with this one. We're gonna go with why do men cheat. So, just to get started, just give me as a woman and as someone who's has talked to the village. Give me some things of why they say that some of the answers of why they feel men cheat.
They felt that men. I think for the majority, the reason why women think men cheat is because of the fact that that's what men do. And that's when you say why women think men cheat. I think women think they could try to prevent it by doing all of the wonderful things like, fixing, cooking and cleaning and washing clothes and just loving
Well,
them so much that they would
before we go to the
get.
preventing, let's just
Hmm.
put a basis down there and see if there's some kind of consensus among women of the reasons why they feel men cheat. I want to get into that part of it.
Okay. I think women think men cheat because they can and they have, and they have the abilities too, I guess. I mean,
That.
I
Well,
can't
what I've
really
been
put
hearing
my
is,
finger on it.
yeah, I've been hearing, they're not they don't feel one woman can satisfy them. I know we had a podcast about that. That's one of the things that I'm
Yeah.
hearing. They don't feel they're getting what they need at home. Some
Hmm.
men want their women to, to be sophisticated, professional, but they want them to be on the pole in the bedroom. Some of the things that women won't do for men, they seem to tend to find that and get that somewhere else. But those are some of the things that I've heard. Just and then just someone just like you said, they just feel that men are cheaters by nature, and that's what they do. Um,
Right.
I don't think I want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I don't think all men cheat. I think that's a term
No.
out there, and I don't think it's meant for that. You do have some good men out there, so shout out to all the good men who don't cheat and do it the right way. Because I always want to give them a plug. But
Absolutely.
anything else that you can think of that I missed that especially coming from your village that reasons why men cheat.
I think mostly it's because they're not getting what they get at home. They're getting more, I guess they get more excitement in out there. And, a lot of women don't mind. Um, a lot of women don't mind being with somebody who has somebody. I've seen that a lot too. That, a woman is okay with saying, "Oh, you got a girlfriend? It doesn't matter what she don't know don't hurt, or you got a wife, what she don't know don't hurt." Um, Maybe that's more attractive to some women to find somebody who has somebody. And from the voices of some of those kind of women, they just They say they don't want the responsibility of having to be with this guy. They
Yeah.
take him when they can get him, and they all right with it. So
Yeah.
it's so many different reasons, you know.
Yeah, that one's interesting, and we definitely got to have a podcast about that. So just make sure you make note of that. That we're gonna have a podcast about that alone. I just want to focus today on the reasons why men cheat and kind of clear the air for some women who still looking for the answer, which I don't think they'll ever know. But this will give some clarification of it, And I'm gonna start with it's taught, it's a learned behavior. And I'm gonna just compare it to kind of like discrimination, racism. It's learned. Kids who play on the playground, different colors, different ethnic groups, they don't know that they're that until somebody points it out to them. So
Right.
men are innocent, just as innocent as everybody else, until it's pointed out to them. They usually get it from, again, the father, the uncles, the friends, the cousins, you know what I mean, the grandfathers. I mean, just family, friends, and just men. You got fraternities out there. You got organizations out there. You got basketball. You got football. You got baseball, professional sports, and it just seems like that's something that is always a underlying thing that it's out there. But I'm gonna start there to just say it's a learned behavior and it's taught. As a young age. I mean, even me, just looking at everybody else and people you look up to, they got a wife but you go hang out with them somewhere and they talking and hugged up with somebody else and say, hey, I'll be back. And you like,
Right.
where you going?
Right.
Like, hey, I gotta, and niggas like, yo, I gotta handle my business. I gotta handle my business. You know what I'm saying? So handle your business. I found out handling your business was cheating. And hey, it is what it is. But
Yeah.
again, we look at that. Now, I'm not saying that because we see it and it's taught, it's learned, means that we have to engage in it. And I'm gonna give again shout out to those men who don't engage in that. But a lot of other men kind of feel pressured into doing it because it's what everybody else is doing, and they can be part of the conversation. And that's the other thing I'm gonna say. It's kind of like a rite of passage. When you're in a conversation with men and be like, yo, I did this, and it's the conquering mentality that we have. It's like,
That's
hey,
the
I
barbershop
did
talk.
that, I hit that. Yeah. And side piece. That's where side piece comes out, but again, I mean, I'll let you just talk about that or what I just said. I know that was a lot, but let me hear your responses to what I said on that.
I mean, I agree. I agree. It is probably. I think it is a learned language. I mean, a learned behavior.
Yeah, so
Um,
you can't even get out because
I
you
can't
laughing
even.
so
I can't even.
much.
I can't even. I'm stuttering right now. I think
Listen,
it's a
we
learned.
having a heart to heart, right? We having a heart
Yes.
to heart. So you know
Yes.
how we do on this show. We having a heart to heart. So this is a heart to heart. So yeah, get it out. Get it now, because I think And again, I hate fellas. I hate to put our business out there, but this is part of learning in which that keeping it real is not right. And I hate that term, keeping it real, because a lot of times when we keep it real, if you got to say that, then something ain't right after that.
Right.
So,
Right.
but
Right.
go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I get how when you start taking this in, it's like wow, and then where do we go from here?
I just think it's. I think, like you said, it is learned behavior. I think it's barbershop talk of like how it gives you big bragging rights, it gives you the props, and you also got the trophies that help it out, right? So yeah, I'm at the barbershop, my side piece gonna pick me up. I gotta get myself, she come in with a little leggings
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
and so it's cute, so for some people it's cute, they think that's nice, they think, so you get the high fives and my boy, he killing it out here, or and it's just funny because infidelity, when you look at it from a woman's point of view, like I know women who don't like their husbands to hang out with single dudes, right? Or dudes that they know is cheating with, that will do anything because
right,
they don't want their husbands in that environment because they assume that their husbands, and I don't, I can't speak for every man because I don't know if every man will fall for it, but your single homie, like, take, keep her friend occupied while I keep, I'm talking to her. And
Yeah.
so
Gotta
it
take
it
one for the
turns,
team.
yeah, it turns into something that, it blows out of proportion. And if you have a significant other, then I don't condone it. So that's
Yeah, but
just
I
me.
think, I think men are greedy by nature. We're conquerors by nature, and again, that's the notch on the belt. When you can, sit back and you haven't talked with your people, you haven't talked
Yeah.
with your boys, and they'd be like, yeah, I didn't hit that. Yeah, my side piece, like you said, my side piece here. She do this for me and that, but yeah, but I'm after her girl now. And it's like, watch, I'm gonna get that.
Yeah,
And it
because
becomes like a game. Unfortunately, it becomes a game, and what happens is really it destroys families. It
it definitely
destroys
destroys families.
relationships. It destroys people. It destroys because men, again, because it's learned and taught, think that that's the right thing for you to do.
Right.
I'm just here to let you know, men, if you haven't cheated and you got boys like that, stay pure. Don't cheat.
It doesn't make
Divorce,
sense to
and then
do
go out
that.
there and do something, whatever. But that's one of the things. And again, like I said, we're conquerors by nature. We want to have those notches on the wall to say, yeah, I hit that, I hit that, I hit that. And and then men talk, like I said, it's bragging rights. It's things like that.
Definitely
So
bragging
yeah,
rights.
I'm gonna just pivot a little bit. I know it might be the same thing. It might be other reasons why men cheat. But I'm just going to say it starts there because we don't know what cheating is until we know what cheating is. And that's being taught and being learned. The other part of
Okay.
that is, yeah, a man may be unhappy. A man may not be getting the things that he wants at home. And he feels he has to go out and do that. And a lot of times it just falls into their lap. And what's crazy is, this is the crazy part that I find out about cheating. A lot of times it's the girlfriend, the best friend that the guy is cheating with. And because they know all the problems, they know all the history, they know what's going on. And she looking at it like, oh, you don't do this for your man? Oh, you don't do that for him? That's a good man. And you ain't doing that. And she'll find a way to talk to him. And now you got a web, a circle of craziness. And we talk about entanglements. It's crazy. And that's the part that I don't understand. And like I said, I don't want to elaborate on that today, but I know we want to have a podcast about the women, why they
Absolutely.
help enable this cheating. But I wanted to say,
Absolutely.
yeah, we're greedy by nature. We what notches. We don't. If it ain't going right, we'll find it somewhere else. And what's crazy about it is it's easy to find that because there's always a willing partner out there. So, and I'm not saying that's why men should cheat because it's easy and you have willing partners out there, as you stated earlier, alluded to earlier, that some women like that. They rather do that. But I'm just wanted to just go down a list, a laundry list of why men cheat to clarify for some women out there. So hopefully I'm getting to your village and take this back to your village so they can understand that it's not them all the time, but they need to look sometimes in the mirror and see what they say they're not going to do and how they're not going to do it and why they stop treating a man a certain way, and why a man will go out there and cheat. Not that it's right, but those are reasons for they feel that they're justified for cheating because a woman stops doing stuff for them as what they used to do when they first was getting together. So
Okay.
I know it's
All
a lot.
right.
I know.
I don't say I'm not saying it's a lot. I'm just unpacking it and I'm understanding that, yeah, okay, so if it's easy and you're not getting what you get at home and that causes you to hit the streets. Why hit the streets? Why just hit the streets? Why not just stay out in them streets, I guess? Is
Yeah,
it why come back home?
yeah, because I think for a lot of reasons. I think, and then the thrill. Let me add that onto it. The thrill of cheating, the thrill of having that, hey, I was hanging out and man, we had a good time. We went to this one thing and we was doing this and doing that and what have you. And then there's all sorts, you gotta remember, there's all sorts of men, they come in different flavors. There's all sorts of women that come in different flavors, but they have packages that your significant other may not have.
That's cool.
And you look at it from that perspective, like, man, oh, I wish my wife or my significant other was voluptuous like that. I wish he had a badonkadunk like this one has. I wish he had thighs like that. Oh, I can see the camel toe. It's like all this other stuff that women have that is so enticing to men that again, it may start out innocent where they might not want to cheat, but look, when they engage, they find out that the other woman is down to do what they thought they couldn't get, and that's part of it. So that's just some of the reasons when you're just thinking about it. So don't always look in the mirror and say it's you. We
Right,
we are
and I really don't
learn this is learned behavior, and like
really
a big
don't.
thing, like you said in a barbershop. But
Yeah, I mean, it's sad that it's kind of sad that it comes down to that. Maybe your significant other is not built like somebody who you find very attractive or stuff like that, but you are who you are. You can't change that for nobody to keep nobody in the house.
yeah,
That's why we got all of these poor ladies going out here BBLing it and all that other stuff because they want to keep in rotation. They want to be in the competition. Stop putting yourself in a competition and just, be with somebody who actually want to be with you. I mean,
right.
don't you don't have to, if the person wants to be with you, you don't have to do all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me do this. I'm going to drop the scripture. You already know that's coming. So I think we want to go there. Proverbs 6:32. And this is for men. Because, why do men cheat? I don't want to just put it out there. I wanted women to know that it's not always just about them why they cheated and what they're not doing, or they let themselves go, or, they're tired. Menopause. Menopause is another one. Just not being physically able anymore, and things like that, where women have these issues where men decide that, okay, you got to satisfy me somehow. They don't want to. They feel they don't want to, and they look at themselves and say, hey, I got to do this, or I got to change my body. I got to do this. I see women go out there and try to work out, and it's not working out, where they're gaining more than losing. And it's crazy for them to do this stuff. But let's read this scripture. It's Proverbs 6:32. Can you read that for the audience there, Harlan Brown? I know our time is up, but I really want to get this out. So,
But a man who commits adultery has no sense. Whoever does so destroys himself.
right. No sense. You don't have no sense. So, men, if you're out there cheating, committing adultery, you have no sense. And whoever does this is destroying yourself. We're not even going to talk about your family. We're going to talk about you, because now you are empty, or will be empty, because when you get busted, both women are leaving, something like that. Or it just there's no good things about cheating. There's nothing good about it at all. And I know it's superficial, and I know it's kind of like just saying, oh yeah, it's out there, but it's the truth. And you can see it right here in Proverbs 6:32. But I just wanted to talk about something that I know a lot of women ask the question. It's one of those, that's the $1 million question. Why does my man cheat on me? I don't understand it. I give him everything he wants. He gets a good meal. I hit him off. I try to stay this. I'm here for him. I'm emotionally attached to him and everything, but he still goes out there and cheats and commits adultery, I should say. And so women, don't get caught up in that. It's something that is innate in them. It's something that is learned and taught. It's something that's a rite of passion. It's something that they get around and fraternities and barbershops and again sports groups and things like that, and amongst family. And this is the things that they do. But don't do this. Don't accuse a man of doing something if you don't have all the facts, because there are some good men out there who won't commit adultery, who is committed to you. So I know I'm on my soapbox today because I just want to make sure I'm putting it out there, but I also want to put it out there. I don't condone it. I don't think that it's right. Have I done it? Ha! Wouldn't you like to know? Would the audience like to know? But it's one of those things where I understand that it can destroy people, it can destroy families, and it destroys the man himself. It tells you right here in this verse, and it also tells you that that man has no sense. So keeping it real, trying to be part of the group, all of y'all don't have no sense. I'm gonna just say that. And me, you know what I mean? So any last words, Arlen Brown? Do you want to interject anything on this? Because I know it's a lot to pack in, but I just wanted to set this record straight out there for women, and we're gonna do it on the opposite end. So don't women, y'all ain't protected all that, because we gonna say, hey, you guys, you women, you know, who out there cheating yourselves. We want to know why. Men want to know why you do it when you have a good man at the crib at home.
Right. And I think probably would be for some of the same reasons. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that discussion as well.
Yeah. So if you don't have anything else, you know, as we end all our podcasts, trying to do something will keep you in your same place. But when you actually do something, your place has no limitations. I am your host, Delay Bloomer. That is my co-host, Harlan Brown. And we see you next week.
See you next week.
Yes, yes. We see you next week. Gotta go. Gotta go.